Hi, hello, it's me, Saran. Today we're going to be talking about Boruto episode 218, more specifically, the unfortunate death of Kurama, the nine-tailed fox. Hello, it's me from the future, and yes, this video is indeed late. The recording software that I was using to record this video, when I went to go edit the audio to make it sound better, it kept crashing, and that was happening for
I'm here to tell you right now.
For a total of 2 days.
We don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
Just know that I did record this on time. Anyways, let's start the video now. And man, was that a really good episode of Boruto, and I absolutely loved it. I really appreciated all of the added scenes that the anime added to Kurama's death that were not present in the manga. It really made his death a lot more impactful to me than it was in the manga, and I was not a huge fan of how the manga handled his death. It was very fast, the paneling wasn't all that great. There were 2 panels that I really liked, and I'll showcase that later. But for the most part, the paneling was just okay, and for a character that has been around for 20 years by the time he died in the manga, I was expecting a lot more. And I really just wasn't a fan of the dialogue right before Kurama died. I get what the manga was trying to do. They're trying to showcase how Naruto didn't really know what to say to Kurama right before he died, and he wasn't really prepared for Kurama's death. But overall, Kurama's death scene in the manga, to me, just felt very rushed and lacked a whole lot of emotional depth. Naruto's facial expressions really weren't all that expressive. Ikimoto just isn't really all that great at drawing emotions, but for a scene like this, you really want to step it up. But for the most part, Naruto just looked out of it for most of it, and he really didn't seem all that sad. Overall, his death just didn't really hit for me in the manga, and I didn't really find it to be all that emotional, unfortunately, and I did not get the emotional response that I wanted out of his death in the manga, and that was just very disappointing to me. But that's enough ripping on the manga. I'm actually going to compliment them on 2 shots that I really liked in the manga. 2 panels. There's this panel where Naruto's on the ground, Kurama's being lifted up and he's being consumed by smoke. He's going into the light. Naruto's just on the water, and it's this really nice looking overhead shot that is a very nice shot. And then you also get this other shot where Naruto is basically saying, Kurama, don't go, and he's just on the floor and he's reaching out his hand into nothingness after Kurama just disappears and he's gone. Boruto then grabs his hand, and that's how it transitions into Naruto waking up. That is a great shot, and I really like it. I just wish that there was more interesting paneling and shots like that more often in the manga. But that's enough talking about the manga, let's get back to the anime. The anime added small touches to Kurama's death that made it a lot more emotional to me. Starting with Kurama seeing all the stages of Naruto's life to where he is now, and thinking about how much Naruto has truly grown up, from being a lonely kid who no one liked and no one wanted to talk to him now being a father and the Hokage. It was a very good addition that really amped up that feeling of, wow, Naruto might actually die here. I also like the fact that in the anime, Naruto mentioned the fact that one of his regrets would be that he didn't get to say goodbye to Hinata and Himawari. Naruto didn't mention them in the manga, which again felt very odd to me, because Naruto thought that he was going to die, so him not mentioning Hinata and Himawari as one of his regrets was just kind of odd. He only mentioned Boruto and Kawaki in the manga. In the anime, he mentions his entire family, which just seems a whole lot more fitting to me. I like the fact that Kurama told Naruto that he actually talked to Kawaki and doesn't really think that he's that bad of a guy. Naruto didn't know that he talked to Kawaki because he was asleep at the time. So Naruto wanted to know what exactly Kurama was talking about with Kawaki. I'm pretty sure Naruto wanted to know because there's a chance that Kurama told Kawaki something pretty embarrassing that Naruto used to do as a kid.
What do you You simply don't have enough charm.
So Naruto is pretty curious, but Kurama doesn't tell. It's just small moments in banter like this which really helps kick up the feeling of dread before the inevitable happens. Naruto lists Boruto and Kawaki as one of the things he's not too worried about. They really are like brothers and they'll motivate each other to keep on growing. Kurama compares their brother-like relationship to him and Sasuke, but Naruto's not too sure about that. Sasuke already had a great brother in Itachi at the start of his life. And I'm not gonna lie, as an Itachi fan, I was really happy to hear Naruto praise Itachi as being a good brother. Itachi really did do the best that he could do with the situation he was given. The situation that he was given and the situation that he found himself in was absolutely horrible, but that shouldn't devalue what Itachi was as a brother. Naruto tells Kurama that he wished he had a brother growing up, but at least Kurama was always there with him, even if he wasn't actually there for him at the start of the series. And ironically, in some odd ways, him and Naruto were more than brothers because they've been together ever since Naruto was born. To see Naruto recall his relationship with Kurama and remember it positively and not dwell too much on the hardships and the challenges that he had to go through because of Kurama, to me, I think that speaks volumes on how much Naruto has truly grown as a pair with Kurama. Of course, they have been close since chapter 570, 580, somewhere around there. I don't remember all that much, but I found it interesting to see Naruto talk about
Kurama
in a different light, knowing what he knows now about
Kurama.
I did smile when Kurama teased Naruto for getting sentimental and saying that it's not like him for getting that way, which I'm not too sure what he means by that. Naruto does get sentimental often. Talk no Jutsu is a meme for a reason, but maybe that's not sentimentality. I don't know, I don't really care. I still like the scene anyways. I'm not gonna pretend like I care that much about it. Naruto and Kurama then start to reminisce, and while Kurama is reflecting on his life with Naruto, we get this simple but beautiful shot where we see Naruto's reflection in Kurama's eyes. And this happens while Kurama's talking about how he used to be full of hatred, and how his rage would come out when Naruto's emotions were heightened and cause trouble for him. And unfortunately, because of that, everyone hated Naruto, and feared him because of the Nine-Tails power he possessed, a power that he never even asked for. But since Naruto thinks he's about to die, and the fact him and Kurama have been close for a long time now, something that the manga seems to have forgotten, he doesn't focus too much on the trouble it caused him, and simply says there's just as many times where you saved me as well, and helped me, which is, well, true. We continue their journey of reminiscing, then we get to see Kurama talking to Naruto about how people only cared about the tailed beasts as a source of power, and as weapons, and they were only referred to by how many tails they had, and not by their actual names. Even if they knew their names, they just didn't care, and would still refer to them by how many tails they had. And in some cases, they didn't know, and they just never bothered to ask. This goes back to them only thinking about the tailed beasts as a source of power, and as weapons, and not as actual living beings. But Naruto is different. He was the only one that he had seen that cared to know what their names were, and continued calling them by their names, and being happy about knowing them. I really liked the fact that Kurama was smiling while saying all this. It's something that probably meant a whole lot to him and other tailed beasts. Naruto tells Kurama that he remembers being really happy when Kurama told him his name. Wait, hold on, sorry, I've gotta stop you right there. If you are indeed enjoying this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could click that like button for me, and maybe even subscribe as well if you want to keep up with more content from me. That would be really sick because this video took a long time to make. Anyways, so there seems to be an oversight made by the
Script writer.
this episode because, from what I can remember, Kurama never told Naruto his name. Naruto learned the Nine-Tails name from Son Goku, the Five-Tails. It's a pretty strange oversight, and I'm not really sure how the mistake was made. Either way, Naruto was happy when he learned Kurama's name. The problem that I have with the scene is that Naruto did not learn it from Kurama himself. He learned it from somebody else. Other than that, the intention of the scene remains the same, whether it was Son Goku or Kurama. Anyways, back to the original video. And thanks Kurama for helping him in a lot of these fights, because if it wasn't for him, he probably would have lost a lot of them if he didn't help out. So they then share one of their final laughs with each other. While you're watching, you're like, well, I wish I could laugh with you guys, but I know one of you's about to die, and that really sucks. We then get to see them fist bump probably for the last time, for a long time, and it's a great callback to Naruto Shippuden. It's very simple, but it's a great way at building emotion for the inevitable of at least one of these characters dying. This entire time, Naruto was under the assumption that both of them were going to die together, so while they were saying their goodbyes, Naruto told Kurama that he hopes to see him in the afterlife. Kurama then breaks the news to Naruto, telling him that the exchange for Baryon mode wasn't both of their lives, but simply just Kurama's. And if he had told him that from the beginning, Naruto could have hesitated and he would have continued bleeding out under that cube, or worse, he would have outright rejected it as a whole. Because frankly, that's just the type of character Naruto is. Even if Naruto knew it was their only real hope of winning, he would have tried to find a different way without risking Kurama's life. Kurama says his final goodbye to Naruto, and just seeing Naruto's face drop, knowing that Kurama will die, was just... you could feel the expression and the emotion on his face. He was truly saddened by this. Kurama tells Naruto usually when a tailed beast is removed from the Jinchuriki would die, but it's not the same in this case because he's not being extracted or pulled out of Naruto, he is simply just fading away and evaporating inside of Naruto's body. The tailed beast's chakra just simply dissipates. We get another beautiful shot of Naruto looking at Kurama, and we're seeing Kurama's reflection through Naruto's eyes. It's the same type of shot from before, but now that we know that Naruto's not dying, the camera has shifted towards reflecting Kurama off of Naruto's eyes. Kurama then starts to disappear and tells Naruto one last thing before he goes. He tells him that you won't have as much superhuman strength as much as you did before, and if you're not careful and you overdo it, you'll end up joining him in the afterlife in no time. Kurama then becomes grayed out while Naruto remains in color. We then see Kurama slowly lifting off, away from Naruto's fist bump. Naruto reaches towards Kurama, telling him please do not go, but that is the end of the episode. We then get a whole bunch of callbacks to original Naruto and Naruto Shippuden in the end credits. They're playing a whole bunch of still frames of a lot of their best moments together, which was a great idea. Something else that I like that the anime added is that we got to see Yuki and Shikaku's reaction to Kurama dying. They're the other tailed beasts that we have seen interact with Kurama over the course of the whole series, and it was nice to see their reactions to Kurama's death. They're the other two main tailed beasts in the series, and it's unfortunate that we didn't get to see their reaction to Kurama's death within the manga. I'm not saying that it's a fault of the manga, it just would have been nice to see back then. While the ending song is playing, we get Kurama's final words to Naruto, which is, "Be well." Naruto starts crying and then starts screaming out Kurama's name, and it's a very, very sad scream. Great job to the voice actress that plays Naruto. I really felt that. I got goosebumps everywhere when I watched it. Just great voice acting by her. Kurama has fully disappeared and Naruto's reaching out saying, "Don't go." And we get absolutely beautiful animation. It's very fluid and expressive. You can see all the emotion on Naruto's face. Just very solid character animation. They did an absolutely great job animating this scene. Naruto continues reaching out for Kurama, and then we see Boruto grab Naruto's hand, an absolutely great transition, and then we see Naruto wake up surrounded by people that he loves. Although Naruto lost a huge part of himself in losing Kurama, he is still surrounded by a whole bunch of people, friends and family, that he cares just as much about. including the village. From facial expressions alone, you can tell how terrified Kawaki was that he might lose his new father in Naruto. And with Sasuke, he put Naruto's head on his lap, probably to ease the pain that he might be losing his best friend. Not only the fact if his friend was going to die, he probably wanted his friend to have a more comfortable death. You can tell by his face that he's very relieved that Naruto is alive. Boruto, being overwhelmed with emotion, starts to cry, and then he rushes to hug his father, calling him a stupid old man for making him think that he was never going to see him again. Naruto looks off into the distance with an empty expression on his face, still in shock over the fact that he just lost Kurama. And honestly, what a great death scene for a character that has been around for so long. They really did the scene justice, and I couldn't be more appreciative to the people who animated this, and Maisai Handa, who did the script for the episode. He did a great job. He handled this really well. And I know a lot of people talked about how they cried in this death scene. I didn't. I don't usually cry for anime death scenes. That doesn't mean that I don't get an emotional response from them. I do. My emotional response is just different. That doesn't mean that I think that crying for this scene makes you weak. I can definitely see why you would cry for the scene. I just didn't get the same emotional response as a lot of other people did. And with all that said, I'm slotting this into my top 5 favorite Naruto death scenes. I don't know if it's my favorite. I think my favorite is still Jiraiya's, but this would probably be a third or second. I would just have to go back and look. I think I'm just gonna wrap it up here. I might talk about other plot points that happened earlier in the episode some other time. They might get their own dedicated video, but we're just gonna end it here. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. That would be cool. That'd be awesome. Make me happy. It really does help out the channel a lot, and I would also like to know what you guys thought about the episode. Yeah, if anyone's going to be watching, this video is like a week late, dude. Absolutely fantastic timing. Anyways, I hope you guys liked the video and you don't feel like I wasted your time. I hope to see you guys next time. Have a great day, and goodbye.